Welcome to a world of hardships and brutal fights that'll knock you down 1,000,000 times. We're playing as a samurai cat whose goal is revenge on his peers that killed him and to save his entire race. We have 9 bosses to defeat and steal their special item that'll allow us to save our people and set us back on course for survival. We can dodge, parry, double jump, customize our loadouts with special abilities that'll make us hopefully unkillable, but we can't say the same for the bosses when we use our bow that'll defeat them in one hit. This game is a hand-drawn 2D platformer, and if you enjoy soul-like games like Elden Ring, you'll enjoy this masterpiece too. Here's my journey of playing 100% of 9 Souls and fighting evil to save all of our people and friends. Enjoy. So our story started out with Mufasa hanging on the edge of a cliff, nearly dead, and Scar told my character, "Long live the king," or something. Mufasa then fell to the ground, looked insanely gruesome, and if my suspicions are correct, he might be dead. Then something out of a very specific kind of anime genre grabbed our guy and hugged him closely. Like, really closely. And for a long time. After some time, probably many years, a fox ghost appears, who turns out to be a kid. He was playing his flute and that woke up our character, from either being so trash or so amazing. Who knows? The child then runs off to who I can guess is his parent or maybe his teacher, who turned out to be us! Apparently, we're Master Yi from League of Legends. I'm so sorry. But Schwan decided to talk about food and dinner instead of telling us about Mufasa and the rock. Once we were done talking, the game gave me a little tutorial about how to move around and stuff. Then we got to Schwan's note at the campsite. Apparently, Mufasa left the rock a while ago, and he's a great hero. Duh. But Schwan wants some crimson flour, which Yi somehow knew exactly where it was. That was until a boar somehow got up there and yoinked it. I told Schwan I would get the flour back for the ceremony and went off. It was some fun parkour spots, and then I had to fight some slug monsters. Only got hit once because I was trying to figure out how to parry, and then I found the boar. I was expecting some kind of boss fight, but no. He just kept on running left and right, and I beat him easily. Then returned the crimson flower to Schwan. While talking to him, it sounds like he is actually Mufasa. The guy trapped on the rock, being, lovingly held by tentacles, so Mufasa might actually be Yi. I honestly don't know. But we hurried back to the village because we'd get in trouble for being out late. Apparently, when Yi arrived at the village 2 years ago, we were seen as some good luck charm as we made each harvest very bountiful, and now Schwan wants us to go talk to everyone while he tries some fish meat at the house. Walking through the village, apparently there's 10 gods, known as souls. They left the heavens to help out the people below on Earth, and every year, they will select someone to come live with them. Kinda cool. Oh, and I told off a redneck-sounding villager who was rude to us. Once I walked through the village, I made it to Schwan, and yeah, his parents died and went to the souls. So Schwan wants to be chosen too, so he can go see his parents again. It's super sad stuff. We ate dinner. I told Schwan how some story ended apparently. I don't know though because the game didn't show us, and then we woke up for the night of the festival. Somehow, there's a phone in this game, and someone named Rui called us. Apparently, we have a humble servant telling us that if we don't do something tonight at the ceremony, we have to wait another 2 years to do it. Also, some high security place being guarded by pigs will be dangerous and we should try to sneak into it or fight. Fighting can be fun and might be less tricky and or faster. Plus, I like to fight. I walked through the village and made it to the ceremony and, well, it's some giant mechanism that will take people up and then behead them in a gruesome way and drop their body to some hidden place. It happened to the first 2 people and I was becoming worried for Schwan. Hopefully that Yi would jump in and save him as I would have done. And, well, with some beautiful panels, that's what we did. He rushed in, barely attaching an explosive talisman to the head machine and saving Schwan. Our hat blew off and we told Schwan that the Yi he knows is a lie. Or one of the souls. Maybe. He didn't say the last part, but it's what I'm guessing right now. We then hacked the machine and went down the elevator. Now, the fun begins. I learned how to parry inside and found a rest spot. It's like the campfires from Elden Ring, where we rest, level up, or look at our character. So much to unlock. And then I found the machine that spawns on the torso of the people above. Then I saw the conveyor belts. We were in a very dark and evil place. They dispose of the bodies in crimson flowers and just eat some of the meat. Now, I need to preface this. The combat in this game is very critical on timing, and also dodging doesn't work like in Elden Ring. The enemy will follow you. So I may or may have not died to some big scary dude with a greatsword. I kept on trying to dodge and parry as the game told me to, and also use that exploding talisman, but I honestly wasn't getting it down. So I died. But it wasn't over. I went to some purgatory world where I practiced parrying and using the talisman. Now, I somewhat get the game and should be a lot better. Then I had to fight this boss at the end of the purgatory world, and it really taught me how to dodge and use the exploding talisman. After that, I returned to the world from that bonfire I rested at and got to work, parrying everything and exploding everyone, except for the archers. I don't think I can parry ranged attacks. But one really nice thing. After fighting, the red in my health bar will actually recover to full health. That's until I get hit with a crimson attack. That's why this greatsword user is so strong. You cannot parry him and you can only dodge. Which again, if you dodge, they follow. So I nearly died to him again. But I figured out the perfect hit combo to dodge ratio in one. Then found out when I defeat the enemy that I died to, I'll regain my lost souls. I continued through the facility and won some more fights to then reach a computer control room spot. Xuan was actually supposed to get chosen and his pillar is marked red. The computer then called the village above a livestock area and that the perimeter has been breached by us. Our servant called us and apparently the 9 souls may be woken up even sooner, and the entire system is in alert mode now. We just made things insanely hard for us by saving Xuan. But that doesn't matter to us. We're a god, baby! I left the computer room and made it to a bonfire, or as the game wants to call it, a root node. And then made it into a trap room and had to fight a greatsword crimson guy again with 2 small fries. The small fries were easy and I managed to beat the greatsword user by being hit twice. And then things got interesting. I know I'm bad at this game, but these flying balls in the sky seem a tad bit difficult to dodge. I'm assuming they can't be parried. That was until later on when I was traveling through the place and 2 more balls attacked me and I, get this, dodged the other way they were exploding. Crazy, right? If you dodge the opposite direction of a blast, you won't get hit with a blast. I made it to another root node and had a skill point unlocked somehow, and learned to parry arrows and bullets. This will be insanely useful as I can parry those back to enemies now. There's also these giant green looking pots, and thank the heavens I held the O button because it fully heals me, and my little healing puffs I have. And like any game being too kind to you with heals, it was a boss fight next. Some elite soldier, man, it was just wiping me around everywhere. That's when I took a deep breath and sat back to watch his moves. He has about 3 different types of attacks, and if you just stay back, he's easy. Once he finished his attack, I would dodge into him, hit him 2 or 3 times, and then dodge out, managing to beat him on my first try. Our first boss slain. He then dropped a stasis jade talisman, which is like the boom boom talisman, but it just makes the enemy freeze in time when I stick them with it. Personally, I like the boom boom one more. I then made it to a council room and our servant called us again. Quite spectacular, isn't it? The caretaker of all Solarians has never stopped growing since her departure. I need to reach the council code at the root pinnacle so that we can rebuild order and punish those criminals. But access to the council code requires a possession of all the soul's seals. You will need to snatch them from the other 9 souls. You certainly will not give them up without a fight. If they've got a problem with that, then I'll just shut them up for good. As you are probably aware, my calculations predict that will be a treacherous road to go down. But regardless, time is of the essence. Please make your way to our predetermined safe zone. So apparently, those are tentacles from a specific genre that saved us at the beginning of the game. It was this tree's roots, and we need to go kill the other 9 gods to shut something down. I continued onwards and made it to a dark, creepy room area. Definitely felt like I was missing stuff, and then I made it to GLaDOS from Portal 2. Apparently, I need to fix my nymph thingy, and I can activate it. Which, parkouring into here, I found out I could have used this to scout ahead the entire time, but I'm a blockhead who doesn't like spoilers, so I sprint into everything. Oops. But our butterfly fish nymph node is fully recharged, so we can use it to scout ahead and open up hidden paths for us. I hacked into GLaDOS and turned her on, and it turns out it's our servant, Rui. He told us how the 9 souls destroyed all of our belongings once they kicked us off the cliff like Mufasa, and then turned down Rui to some basic state because he could still be useful. Rui returned this entire place back to normal. In here, we're completely hidden and safe, and this is our safe haven. After all of that talk, Rui repaired something on our character that was apparently in a critical state. But we have no time to waste. He keeps on telling us that everything is coming down to the second to complete it. Since we've awakened, the 9 souls will awaken one by one too. So we'll have to travel and take them down as they awaken. Also, my jade thingy was repaired, so I can make changes to it. This will change the combat for us, and apparently will become insane. As I was leaving to go fight the first soul, which, just to make this clear, souls are gods, Xuan appeared in our house. No idea how he managed to find this place, as Rui said we were safe here and no one would find this place, but Xuan isn't alone. That redneck that I told off earlier is here too, possibly fighting some enemies, and then Xuan ran off and found us here. We were shocked, but told him he can live in this place for now. After catching up, I continued left and went to the tentacles to embrace the culture. For some reason, I'm now in the purgatory world again and talking to a bunny cat that has very detailed feet. Apparently, we've met before, but he is adamant on this never happening. The bunny cat feet man gave me a horn that'll apparently let me travel around the Four Seasons Pavilion. The map, basically. And this should reduce our travel time a bit. We returned to our home and it was nighttime. Apparently, we were in there for a very long time. Next up, I repaired this robot on the ground, and this little guy will help us with resources on maps that we visit. We just have to bring the map data chip back to him or something. So I was completely lost at this point because the game doesn't hold your hand at all on where to go. After wandering for a while, our servant told us we might want to work with one of the souls. The entire reason why Rui is still here, apparently he hates him, but he might be good as an ally. I found some passageway next and used the butterfly fish to open the door. It's a giant elevator, and this section, not easy. Very difficult to fight these guys, especially when they all trap you in a corner and you can't dodge to get out, and another ball spawns on your face and you die. Nice. I went straight back to it, and somehow less enemies spawned in, and I made it to the bottom. I wish I could say I made it easily and with skill, but no. I'm still getting used to dodging and playing with a controller. Excuses, I know. Then Big Boy Greatsword spawned in, and there goes all my healing and health potion pipes. Making it out with like 1 HP. Yay. I hacked the system next, and now the alert system is offline. We're safe to walk around, is what I would have said if we were. But more enemies were up ahead. And get this. The archer shot me as I was dodging the spear dude, and please tell me, how did this land? In what universe is this a hit? I was literally jumping over the arrow and I died. So, I made the long journey back there. This is going to be a long game. I beat those guys from last time and went through a little jump area to open up the next room. Inside of here was a root node that brought me back to Purgatory, and I learned how to use those green circles on the walls I've been seeing. I can now jump across air and get to new areas, and another cool thing with that move, I can use it to dodge crimson attacks. Like with this boss fight at the end that killed me on the first hit because I didn't understand what the tip was suggesting, but I learned how to jump over those attacks and return to the real world. This is where things got all kind of loopy and lost. I have absolutely no idea where to go. There's no indication if you're going the right way or not for the main story. So I just ran around everywhere and started hacking stuff, like these statues who hit you with crimson attacks. If you do the jump parry, their weapons break and you can hack them to open up new ways or locks. After a while of doing that, I managed to open up a new pathway and then found this root node, which that one soul that Rui told us to work with and is the sole reason why Rui is still here with us. He called me, but he doesn't believe that I'm Yi. So the security system stays on and something called the Dusk Warriors or something is coming to stop us. Yay. It was a bit of a puzzle in this area. Just had to run around and follow a somewhat easy path to unlock doors, beat some enemies, hack into stuff to unlock doors again, and then finally made it to some elevator that went sideways. And as we were traveling, either a flashback or our sister actually called us, we learned how Yi actually wants to fix up the world and save it with these giant batteries that the adults are too scared to use. They believe they're destructive weapons from the war era. Kinda sounds like our nuclear plants in real life and how we should use them. Anyways, the next area after that sideways elevator, Nightmare Town. I died to this big dude because he's unfair and overpowered, then beat him the next time with 1 health remaining because I'm unfair and overpowered. Then died to an arrow that didn't hit me again, and then the third time, I ran past him. I'm starting to learn it's actually better to just skip enemies than to fight them and be punished for clearing everyone out, and so I did that for a majority of the enemies. Unless I had to stand still and hack something, I just skip the enemies. I made it to some machine that looks like it controls the pyramid in the background, but we need more power for it. Possible boss fight incoming? I said hi to another map machine and bought the map data for 400 Jin. Then met this poetry monster who yapped a bit and turned out to be a shop for some maybe useful items. I took none. I ran to the far right and found a machine to hack to turn on the pyramid's power. Kwafu was not too happy about me hacking his systems and has now for sure sent some guards to kill me. Once I left the building, it was just a big group of enemies constantly coming after me. Once that was over, I turned on the pyramid and went inside. I unlocked the sprinting skill and well, to be frank, it didn't matter what I unlocked. I spent roughly 6 or 8 hours on this boss fight. I wish I could say I'm joking, but I'm not. Here's the timer. I hate this boss. I nearly quit the game because of him. The game up to this point was actually fun and challenging, but this is just stupid and unfair. The hitboxes change every single time I go to fight him, and over half the time, my parry wouldn't work. I'd still take damage while the animation for a correct parry would go off, but I do like this game, and I like the story so far and the art style, and I figured you guys would like it too. So, instead of quitting or being stuck here forever, I switched to story mode, changed my damage output to 1000% and damage taken to 1%. I didn't dodge or parry this boss, and it still did some damage to me and took like 20 hits to be insane. And after all of that fighting, I got some herbal thing that won't be of use to me at all. All of that work for such a hard boss. Anyways, after that fight was done, I went through the doorway and there he was. Kwafu, the guy who kept our servant, Rui, alive. It turns out we're really good friends, and he was stunned to see me alive. I thought we were in those tentacles for maybe a year or two, not too long. No, it's been 500 years. And this cat was stunned we were alive. Apparently, he thought the other souls were coming after us to bring us back to talk and negotiate. We forgave him because he also didn't have an option to not hunt us down. He said he'll help us out with the 8 remaining souls and retreated to our house for protection. Also, his soul seal was in his vital thingy, and we retrieved it. Inside, it was showing us his past and how amazing of a craftsman Kwafu is. Also, how loyal he is and how good of a friend he is to us. Also, his seal name means loyal. Really fitting. Once that was collected, I returned to our house and caught up with him. Apparently, Kwafu is terrified of Xuan since he's an ape man, basically a human, and we're so scary and dangerous like wild animals to Kwafu. He and Kwafu kept at it for a bit, but then finally Kwafu told us that he had a bow from our sister. So we can finally do range combat, but our arrows are limited. We can get more by resting at root nodes, and Kwafu can upgrade our gear. Once again, I was completely lost and had no idea what to do or where to go. I looked at the map and figured that the yellow room is probably important, so I headed inside, and this is that one room where I died to Boom Boom Balls. I'm wiser now, so I didn't die to them and just checked out the area. Just some secret spots, but continued right. But don't worry, I won't make this boring. I turned up my damage received meter to 100%, so I still have to try and play the game. I continued right, fought some enemies, and had some fun. Then I ran into a cat with an eye on their forehead. They just yapped for a long time about bells and this tower, and then gave me a music sheet and pleaded that I find the instruments to make the bells ring again. He said sure, and I said no. More to the right, I rested and then went into some building. There's 2 guards inside, but I can't break them like the previous guards in this game by parrying or doing the jump parry move. So I left, and that's kind of what happened next too. Just a lot of pathways and doors for us, but I can't do anything to progress inside any of them. So I just continued right, fought some enemies that were fun, and then made it to some bell. Ringing it made a serpent go under this boat, and I hopped on and then shot him with a syringe full of 5G waves, and he brought me to a new land. Felt kinda bad for the serpent. I climbed some rope and then had another hallucination about our sister and saw the Death Star in the sky? I guess the rebels haven't arrived yet, and then she went on about how the tree has souls and dreams in it, and she can hear voices from the roots of the tree. I do love me some Star Wars Avatar Elden Ring 2, champ. I traveled right and went inside a building, and this time, I can actually do something in here. I used our butterfly fish and randomly pressed buttons to then clear this passage and raise the chest to give me a talisman that's now useless to me because I'll never die again. What it does is that I can regain my Gen and experience if I use a exploding talisman, but I'll never need to use this. After a bit more traveling, I went inside of a big golden doorway and then got myself into a trap by Mommy Cat. Which, funny thing, according to this flying cat, we're not a cat. we're a mouse? Or maybe she's insulting us and calling us a mouse instead of a cat? She summoned two weird dudes who were apparently banned centuries ago, so this is going to be a good and fun fight, is what I would have said if they were two of the three stooges. These dudes beat the cage down into the cave below, and Mommy Cat was not happy at all. We woke up after a bit, and now we have a huge cave system puzzle thing to get through. First, I rested at a root node, and was forced into the purgatory world again. Inside, I learned how to use this chi sword, which I actually love using. Lets me one-shot even stronger enemies. Once I finish up in there, it's really simple for this cave part. I just had to parkour my way through and turn off like 3 valves so the dragon heads would stop releasing piss. You see, I'm in a cave system of PP, and once I turn them all off, I could jump down this hole into, your lucky day, another cavern, but this time, it has a piss lake. And once I unlock some stuff and turn off more piss dragons, I hit this big bell thinking it would drop some loot or spawn in some fun enemies, but instead, I was blessed with a mini boss. It would have been difficult to beat if I didn't have 1000% more damage and use the chi blade, but I was able to kill him in 3 hits. Super fun. From there was more hacking and unlocking areas, and then I made it back to our serpent friend. Sadly for him, he's swimming us across the piss lake, which also had some piss showers. I don't think he's too happy about this, as he kept on giving me the coldest stare ever the entire ride. I fought some enemies on here, but when we made it to the end, our servant called us and told us to be safe. Apparently, Mommy Cat could have changed a lot of this area, and she's dangerous. A save point was right outside of the boss's room, but here's the funny thing. I didn't need it at all. I didn't even take damage. You see, I thought the boss fight was the 2 monsters right here that call Mommy Cat Mama. I used a chi blade strike on both of them. They both shut down, and then the Mommy Cat flew in to revive them with her bell. Well, she tried to. Wait, Wait, it was that fast? Okay, well, there goes her bell. Yep, they're now broken. Control relinquish. Boom, they're all falling apart. And then now they're going to her. Mama? Ma? Okay, so maybe I'm a bit too powerful, but that was hilarious. The previous boss still took so many hits to kill, and this girl was just insanely easy. Once we beat her, she thought we were going to kill her. The thing is, before the fight started, she talked about how she wanted to rule the world and control everything, and everyone should give up some freedom so the strong and everyone else can live in peace and always have food. Those 2 monsters had this horseshoe around their neck to control them completely, as she wanted to do to everyone. But instead of killing her, we subjected her to her own ideologies. We put her under our control and then walked away, leaving her there with her 2 supposed children monsters forever. Okay, maybe not forever, but at least for now. Then we walked to the left, interacted with her computer thingy that had her soul seal, and we learned about her past. She was an orphan who rose to power with some strange group. She had servants tend to fields to produce food and then began to mind control them so they'd always be with her, make sure her plans go well. She wanted to rule the world with fear and absolute control, no one to oppose her. She had the right idea to feed everyone, but had a terrible execution. Also, funny thing, her soul seal means equality. That was ironic and funny. Afterwards, I had to figure out where to head to next. I looked at the map closely and saw some doorway-looking openings on several rooms in the world and figured that they'd lead to important areas possibly. So, I got to running. I had to return to the piss caves and went to the bottom floor with the piss lake. Don't worry, I didn't drink any of it, so none of you better leave a comment about, wow, Skies, you went to the piss lake and didn't drink any? I don't believe it. Anyways, I kind of skipped past enemies and had to do this parkour jump across some ropes to get across the piss lake. From there, we're in a new area now, and I saw the redneck from our village just chilling peacefully on the floor. He kept on slowly saying he needs poison to live. Kind of weird, but sadly, we don't have anything poisonous to give to him. So he is just gonna chill on the floor for a while. After leaving our dying neighbor, I just explored a bit and then found my way into the research facility. There's some weird formations going on in here, and sadly, our servant can't get his way into the logs to see what happened in here. Surely the next boss won't be Gravemind from Halo. I ran around aimlessly in here and thought I'd be going somewhere new when I snuck into this box, but no, they have an x-ray machine and booted me out. sad face. Anyways, I found this puzzle room, which required about 4% of my brain power to complete. It just wasn't making sense to me, and I actually kind of brute forced it by being fast and making both boxes come back at the same time. How you're supposed to do it is by using your butterfly fish to freeze the top box, and then bring the bottom box over and jump on that. Then call your butterfly fish back so both boxes move together. Anyways, confusing room for just me, and the loot was it just makes her arrow stronger. Then I ran around clueless for about 20 minutes, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do, and couldn't figure out the meat room, so I left and retraced some tracks to the beginning of the movie. After a while, I found this rope I never went up before, and had to use the butterfly fish again to move this box so I can parkour to the next spot, which had a loser mini-boss. Hate this guy too. He may or may not have killed me twice by being a loser and cheating and using a fire move I can't dodge or parry to kill me in one hit. So on the third try, I decided to be a bigger loser and cheat harder than him by using the arrow, and maybe I should use this more often, as I one-shot him and then teabagged him. After that, I continued left and made it to the Galactic Dockyard Place, which turned out to be a waste of time because it's a dead end. I'm beginning to learn that exploring in this game is not rewarded at all. You just get empty, pointless rooms with nothing in them, and it's starting to give me a negative feeling of looking around places. The aimless running continued, and after a while, I made it to the pyramid room again and talked to the poem stalker to see what he's selling. That's when I discovered the jade equipment. You can keep on buying this, and the more you buy, the more slots you unlock for your jades. The things that give you special powers like attaching an explosive talisman to an enemy makes them immobile. It increases gold gained from killing enemies. There's one where you deal more damage if you're below 25% health, etc. Really nice. The entire pyramid room was a dead end. Can't open the doors, so one of the last areas I know that lead to somewhere is the 8-man facility. I headed over there, and it seemed to be the right choice. I finally have a new area and possible boss fights. There was a ton of hacking in this room and platforming and just exploring. I'm also trying to get to 3,800 Jin so I could buy another jade upgrade slot, and this jade that'll let me deal more damage if I'm below 25% health. So I fought everyone in here and was just trying to find the exit to a new area. Which, well, I did find an exit that led me back to the pyramid room, and another mini boss fight appeared, but I used my brain and just shot the arrow so I don't have to die 8 times to something stupid, and, well, I made it to the left side of the pyramid room that I couldn't access before. It's like I'm being punished again for exploring. Just useless stuff. I continued to explore, but honestly, let's just cut out all the dead ends. We need to continue on with the story. I returned to the redneck and had his poison medicine to heal him up. In return, he got me super drunk, and that somehow increased my max health. He's living at my house now with Xuan, and every 2 poison items I bring him, he'll raise my max health. Sick. So, I think I spent around 2 to 3 hours trying to find the next boss in the game to progress. To keep it short, I gave up. I checked every single room twice over and never found out where to go. I looked on YouTube and found exactly where to go. Making it back to the central hub area, I headed left, hacked this door with my butterfly fish, said hello to this guard, and then ran 3 times through a looped room. Blood started to fall from the ceiling, and this horror monster effect began to rapidly cut into my screen. So I'm guessing the next boss is either going to be a psychological monster or the cutest and kindest thing to ever be born. No in between. I hacked the next door and had to do this fun little parkour area. Actually, didn't mess up at all and made it through carefree. Next room is the factory Great Hall. Inside here, there's pressure plates that light on fire once you touch them, and then every single big room that you'd want to explore explodes into fire, killing you if you stay in there too long. I never found out a way to survive in these, as this green bubble thing turns off once the room catches fire, so I just full sent it. I just sprinted through the rooms, and funny enough, this worked. I actually managed to get through all 3 big rooms without dying to that fireball thingy, and then at the end of it all, I found that creepy looking shop guy. Bought 2 jades, so in case I lose my Jin, I'm good. Then it was just more sprinting around rapidly and using elevators to enter new rooms. I found the next root node and rested at it to be brought to the purgatory world. Inside, I finally learned how to air dash. We can finally dash around and move even faster. Took a bit to get this, but highly welcomed. I continued left into the factory and found this dead parkour spot. Like, nothing was working. That was until I reached the end and turned on the factory area. Now, everything is working and deadly. And as I was running my way back, some old geezer called me to talk and, well, he ain't having it. We're not here to forgive and forget. We're here to get lost and occasionally find a boss to beat for some soul seals. It went something like that. I might be paraphrasing or something. I continued onwards in the factory and I thought I was about to enter the boss's room. But not too fast now. We're missing a bridge of some sort, so I had to return into the factory and continue on another path. Somewhat found my way there, and had to do a lot of very tricky 3D parkour of dodging specific sides of boxes to not die, and watch out for some smashing hammer spots. Made it through, however, because I'm the greatest 9 Souls parkour master ever. I know you totally believe that. And then made my way to a mini boss fight. Or a really strong enemy? Who knows, because I one-shot it with my bow. Not taking any chances here as I'm almost dead and I don't remember where the last root node was that I rested at. So I entered this room and get this, no save for a while to handle this room. Anyone not in story mode who can complete this, you're a god. So I died because I didn't see that this little boulder has a shield and yep, I went back far. I had to do this puzzle part where you need to keep jumping on sides of the boxes to not get crushed by this hammering machine and to also not touch any of the dangerous red spots. This part broke me. Yi kept climbing up or not listening to my inputs, so I got sent back like 5 times. I was broken at this point, and my only point of continuing onwards is because I'm positive you're enjoying my suffering, and I want to show you all this entire game. At this point, it'd be a huge waste of time to quit and not finish this video. I made it back to the room finally, and still struggled a bit to complete it. At the end, however, not a bad jade. Lets me heal a bit with my slashing strikes. So we can heal a tiny bit while away from root nodes. After that room, I unlocked this elevator that let me rest at a root node and headed back up. It seems like the old geezer is getting tired and grumpy at me. The feeling is mutual. I then got into this insanely hard part, and without 1000% damage, I don't know how you're supposed to beat this. I did die here because it's insane and couldn't heal, but the second time, I used the arrow shots to clear out the room. Only way I can manage it with how much dodging and parrying it would require. After that, I parkoured my way to the spot that required me to use my butterfly fish, but I don't know why I needed this box as I found a mech to the left. No, serious. This isn't an enemy. It's a mech for me to control and destroy all giant boxes and enemies. And brother, it was fun and came in massive handy. I just kept on sprinting in this and slaughtering everything. Having the time of my life and then making it to another X-ray part. I got another weird message from my sister that I seriously think is dead at this point, and Yi is just going down memory lane since it's a part he can rest at and think. She was talking about pickling foods, and we got this flashback about us reading a book about talismans inside of a pickling jar that our sister found and joined us in. Apparently, Yi's parents didn't like him reading things like this because science leads to violence. Yi doesn't believe it. It just depends on the person who's learning the science if it ends up as violence. I personally agree with Yi. Once the flashback was over, we got caught for having fun in the box and were ejected out. In this area, there's 2 frog generators. Kinda cute. Don't know why they're shaped like that instead of a regular generator, but I can appreciate it. These control an elevator, but I have to power them on as the old geezer turned it off to slow me down. The left side was a bit tricky. I had to do some more 3D parkour and dodge some red areas and hammering machines. But I managed to get it done, and then the right side frog, super easy. I literally fell down this hole and went to the right and boom, it's on. I took the elevator and met up with the old geezer, face to face. He was yapping away and I figured he was just buying time. Especially since he said 55% just need to buy more time. Yi sadly never caught on and thought the old geezer was actually talking to him. Only noticing at the very end what was going on. Oh, also, I love this quote Yi said, talking about if elders don't do anything to earn respect, don't expect respect from the youth. Love it. Anyways, this crazy monster that looks like it's from Jujutsu Kaisen and has a finger from Sukuna spawned in. Super tough and monstrous looking. Will easily be a hard I used my bow and I one-shot him. No regrets at all. I actually laughed because it was so funny how this fight ended. I then chased after the old geezer and went down this elevator. He's panicking at this point and watching me on monitors, making me feel like a YouTuber in this world. The old geezer is also panicking as that bossy made me one-shot. Apparently it's not legal to have and super ancient and valuable. Nice. So now he's worried about the council finding out about what he did and we still want to kill him. Shocker. I parkoured my way through this area and it was a tad bit difficult. Very shocked I didn't die here and I made it to the fun mech again. Until the old geezer sniped me and destroyed it. He's pleading for us to not kill him at this point, but he doesn't care. Everything is evil and corrupt and he's going to destroy everything and rebuild it all from scratch. This game is sounding way too realistic and accurate to America right now. Once the yapping was done, the old geezer kept on sniping me and I used him to break this box and then hack this statue that I don't know what it does, but I escaped his sniper from this turning wall. Inside, luck was not on my side. I took a lot of damage and kept on getting hit as I progressed through this room. The sniper shots didn't stop at all and the enemies were everywhere. Also, the walls move if I run on them, Kinda cool. I got down to a one-shot, and now I have this cool blue trail on me, and somehow managed to do this room and escape through the turning wall again without dying. Same story in this room, and somehow I managed to beat it all without dying or getting hit once. I then opened up this doorway, got full health and healing packs from this thingy right here, and then, well, I broke my streak of not getting hit. I don't know why I got hit here, but I messed up and did. But I beat this floor and escaped through the turning wall again. But of course, my good luck and enjoyment couldn't continue. I died while hacking the statue when I had more than enough time to dodge this shot, but Yi sucks and wouldn't move. I died. All of that work, gone. I had to redo the rooms, but I did have a shortcut in each one I've completed, but, well, that didn't matter. The auto-aiming arrows and this butthole right here killed me. So, I lost all of my gen and even more will to complete the game. I made it back to where I died after struggling a bit, and then, well, I died immediately to this green wall because I didn't know it wouldn't move back when I jumped across and it squished me. After making it back here again and beating that part, we got insanely lucky. I took the elevator up and I unlocked the door. So, if I die now, I can just come back to the final flipping wall room. Guessing it's the boss room. But here's the thing. The old geezer will snipe us way too fast for us to hack this totem thing. So I figured, okay, I must have missed one of the totems in one of the previous 4 rooms. Because look at this wheel. Each color is a totem in the rooms and 3 of them have green lights, 2 have red, indicating 2 haven't been activated yet. So I redid all rooms. I looked everywhere and found the 4th totem I missed. Now, I just need that red one in the room, but no, he still snipes too fast. Turns out, that wheel isn't for the boss fight. I just had to travel to the right for the boss fight, so I did. Inside, the old geezer is basically dead, as he activates this giant bell that looks like a Pokemon. You know the one. And once it was all loaded up and ready to fight, well, I used my arrows again. Proudly. One shot brought it into the second phase, and the second shot defeated the Pokemon. I then hacked it and used it to blast through the wall into where the old geezer was, and then walked my cute butt in there. He said how he didn't want to die, just like how I didn't want to die like 30 times in his factory, but he died on the floor and turned into a flower for us. I then went into his chamber, walked through his memories as he was apparently someone incredibly smart in a library basically, and he quickly rose to power. I collected his soul seal, and his means legacy. Kinda fitting. I was heading back to the red totem room when some red monkey dude called us and apparently wants us to stop by for a fight. He's not impressed with me one-shotting each boss so far and promised there's no traps in his place. He just wants to fight me. So obviously, there's going to be traps in his place and it's going to be a living hell. After the call, I returned to the red totem room and hacked it finally. I then returned to the rainbow vault door and opened it. Inside, it was all of the old geezer's prized possessions, I think. I'm just making that part up. But it was a lot of chests. The only thing out of here that I cared about was an arrow upgrade. After looting that entire place, I returned to the boss room and continued right. Looking at the map, that red monkey dude wasn't lying. He actually is telling us where he is. So kind. I won't get lost now. I made it to the boss, and of course, it was a trap. The game wouldn't let the next boss fight be so fast. I hit him with the arrow and dodged an attack, but ultimately, you're supposed to die here. He captured me, and I had another dream about my sister. Basically, he made the butterfly fish in his lab with his sister watching. He also stated he's going to make it look like a butterfly just for her. So, I guess I was actually correct about what that little ghost thing is. We got woken up by some electric shock by the red monkey dude, and now we're in big trouble. Apparently, Yi can take a lot of damage and never die. And this red monkey dude is a psychopathic monster. He's kept us here for days and keeps on torturing us with shocks. He's aware if we die, we'll just respawn, so he's not letting it happen. Honestly, a very messed up and weird part of the game to be in. The next day happened and our butterfly fish finally decided to come and save us. Our servant called us, but the signal in the prison is terrible and we need to use our butterfly fish to hack doors and escape. The red monkey dude is after Schwan and the redneck guy, so Yi feels even more anger to escape and kill the red monkey dude. We're incredibly damaged right now, shocker, and can't sprint or really do anything. What you're supposed to do is hide and be sneaky. I totally did that. I never fought once or beat up those incredibly strong and fast guards. No, sir. It was just some parkouring and hacking things to open up paths, and then I finally made it to a root node. I was able to finally sprint and dodge and be amazing again, and I rushed through this entire place. It was nice and simple, and I loved it. After a while, I made it to this large red cat being locked up, and surprisingly, this dude is tanky. even for me. He took several hits and would constantly start to heal, so I had to hack these side propane tank thingies to prevent him from being forced to heal. I'm assuming this part because he constantly would beg me to kill him, so maybe the red monkey dude set this up so the cat would never die, forcing him to be tortured. Again, really weird part of the game when you think too much about it. I finished him off though, absolutely not like that. He begged me to kill him, and I entered execution mode on this prison thingy, freeing him. Apparently, he was royalty and part of one of the big families. Yikes. Up next, we got a very long cave and multiple levels to get through. I had to stay at the bottom level and keep moving right, finding another root node, and this one brought me into the purgatory world again, and, well, it taught me something I'll never use. You have to predict the future and have even better timing than parrying. You have to hold down the parrying button, but you can't hold it down for too long as you can't keep it charged, and then you have to release it the second you're hit. The issues, it takes too long to charge up, and the enemy will strike before you charge up. As of right now, it's completely useless and insanely difficult to use. So, I'll just stick to my one-shot arrow. But I was forced to do it on some of those arrow walls. Not entirely difficult, but definitely difficult. I managed to make it through the entire place and also unlock this chest that had a herbal upgrade for us at healing stations. I still don't understand it as healing stations fully heal us, but I did find this elevator and then he passed out. Something about being tortured isn't good for your health, and he ain't doing good. The creepy poem shop guys somehow found us and then returned us to our home. Everyone was panicking, but they forgot I'm the main character. Of course, Yi is magically okay and ready to go. I went to the root node in here and was forced into the purgatory world again. Inside, weirdly detailed feet man asked for the horn that I never used because I don't know how to, and then he upgraded it so I can teleport to any location on our map from our home root node. Really sick. So from here, I had to teleport back into the prison factory place thing and make my way to these hammer cat spots. I used the new difficult blocking mechanic and destroyed the hammers. I believe this made the top part of the factory begin to work. I parkoured my way upwards, fought some enemies, and then hacked this elevator to allow me to go up. After that, well, I don't know why this is needed, but Red Monkey Dude is naked Red Monkey Dude right now. He's apparently positive that we're dead and no one can stand in his way, not even fate. He also uses some gender-affirming surgery machine to make his muscles bigger and stronger. Apparently looked down upon in their world. Strange. Same story in this area as the previous in the games. I had to work my way through some pathways and hack things to open and beat some enemies. I did manage to figure out how to use these green sphere protector things from the firewall. Just keep hitting them. And managed to make it through the rooms and all the way to the right without taking any damage. Just ignore my health here. There's nothing wrong. I also found out that the enemies I've been killing are actually piss babies, and they keep whining and chasing me everywhere. Very weird. Once the piss babies climb into a machine like this, they get transformed into the enemies we all know and hate. Before heading down the elevator, I found another one of those map robots and was going to buy a map of the area until it turned out to be a turd and I had to use the charged parry attack on him to beat him. I did it on my first try and just took the elevator down. From there, I found a room with this box puzzle thingy that I had to figure out the right combo to make a climbable way up to these two different spots. One had some item and then the other side had this birthing pod thingy that gave me a jade. A lot of exploring later, I found the next area to go to. I needed to make it to this room with a firewall going off and to destroy those hammering cats again. I took the elevator up after figuring out exploring isn't worth it in here. And I was correct. I got this root node and then there he was. The Red Monkey Dude and his ball sack becoming stronger. So, I opened the ball sack and out he came. He was a bit surprised to see me, but we came here to fight and this time, the game is actually letting me kill him. Here's the weird part. He was naked when he got out, but then snapped his fingers and now he has clothes on. Not sure why he's naked in front of people so much when he can do that. He then said annoying stuff like how we should praise him, but then I just said I'm the main character and I'm here to win. The fight started and I was just dodging around all cutely and seeing what he does, but nah, I just used an arrow, knocked him into the second phase, and arrowed him again. He said this isn't the end of our fight and crushed some pottery that made him incredibly powerful and super duper buff. But it appears it wasn't exactly completed yet. He shouldn't have drank it. It turned him into a mushy pile and I collected some fruit from his body. We have now defeated the Red Monkey Dude, the third soul. I went into his chamber and entered his seal. He was apparently some weak dweeb when he was young, but then used that muscle ballsack chamber to become strong and then used the ape man, like the redneck and Schwan to make his army. There were people forced into some machine that made them into the enemies we're fighting. I got his seal and his reign is over. His seal character is Wu, which is really cool to me, but the name means discipline. Our servant called us and said how some adversary might be finding our home soon. That's a big no-no, as our friends are there. So I teleported back over there, did some quick upgrades to my arrow and the healing potion, recycled some stuff, just did some upgrades really. After that, I ran to the right and met up with our servant. He said it could be a trap, but he doesn't know what the signal is. He marked it on my map and I headed over. It was some flowery spot, and then this girl lifted her skirt for me to enter the realm. No thank you though, I have a girlfriend. Inside was a very pink and girly pop world. The soul we're after now is Lady Ethereal, which, well, I'm not the only one that thinks this is a trap, right? She won't talk to me unless I rest in her bathwater. Didn't know she was a Twitch streamer. I tried to attack her, but he is a lot more stupid than we give him credit for. So, he got into the water, and apparently, there's other beings here? We just can't see them. Oh, and our butterfly fish got eaten by a plant, so I can't use it in here. Now we get into the fun stuff. So, the pink girly is insane. Shocker. And the way out of here is to constantly parkour like Mario to the right. Every time I do this, I end right back up here to talk to her. Also, every time I come back, one person in the background is tweaking hard and losing their mind. And so does the pink girly. Slowly, over time, she becomes more and more insane and aware of those surroundings. This is why we couldn't see anyone before. It's because this place is a dream. We're inside of a dream machine that her and her colleagues made. I had a Mario to the right about 4 times when she finally snapped out of it and became insane. She was always aware that this place isn't safe to use and is dying to some disease like the other souls. But somehow, Yi doesn't have the disease that the others have. Anyways, it was about 4 or 5 times I did the parkour route to the right. That's when I got this boss, and, well, it was honestly funny. I started laughing when I killed him because my arrow wasn't even going the right direction. Wait, what? So, yeah, that was awesome. After that intense fight, when I returned to the pink girly, well, everyone was tweaking and she was having a mental breakdown. She's finally aware of her surroundings and told me how she got everyone killed and failed to make the dream machine. No, not that dream. And this is when things got uncomfortable for me. I personally don't hate this boss. I don't have any grudges, and, well, we were forced to hit her until she talked again and she said she wants more and that she doesn't deserve mercy. Really awkward and uncomfortable, but I had to keep hitting her while she was defenseless. Then finally, something happened. She snapped and went insane and turned into Cult of the Lamb. Everything in the back turned black and full of blood. All of the people back there became satanic as well. I was finally free to move though. I could head to the right again. My butterfly fish broke out of the plant and, well, I don't know if this thing is trying to help me or kill me. I don't know why it doesn't stick to my side and make this parkour stuff easy, but it got me killed several times. After a very painful timed parkour section, I made it to the door to then see that the test she did on her friends for the dream machine made them kill, you know, and the ones who didn't commit to that, they were violent in trying to kill her. It was a complete failure, but the pink girly and the other souls presented it to the court as a success. I was about to get her soul seal, but of course, the game couldn't be kind to me. She was aware of me and squashed me like a bug, forcing me out of her soul seal. Then we got a call. Apparently, pink girly ain't alive. It's just her brain, and it's hooked up to the machine that failed drastically. I have to go back in to get the soul seal, and it's incredibly dangerous, as it's linking Pink Girly's and I's consciousness together. After entering, she appeared, and she wasn't happy. She blamed me, as well as the other souls, for the machine's failure, but apparently it wasn't a failure. Apparently, the machine worked too well, because it was literally heaven on earth. There was no sadness or pain in her machine. So when the experiment ended and the people had to get out, they became incredibly depressed and committed to that one thing that you saw, or they couldn't tell between life and the dream anymore because it worked too well. Anyways, Pink Girly was ready to fight me, and it began. So, she has 3 phases and a lot of health. Luckily, I somehow equipped the homing arrows and I used them all up to win. It looked like an insane fight and beautifully Cult of the Lamb inspired, but shocker, I won by one hitting her with the arrows. After the fight, she returned to normal and thanked me for being kind to her and helping her out. Her friends who died from the machine appeared behind her, and then the machine world ended. We had another dream about our sister. It was something about us creating our butterfly fish because Yi was incredibly smart and gifted as a child. We turned the machine on to create our butterfly fish and, well, let's just say he's the Oppenheimer of his universe. It went boom boom, and after his sister starts crying, which is so unbelievably valid, he's missing half his body from the explosion. So it would appear that Yi has died several times in his life. His sister then has a green orb appear around us as if she's healing us, and then the anime tentacles take out the screen. Back in the current times, we got the Pink Lady's soul seal, and her seal says Zen. meaning benevolence. We got a call that the root node in our house is acting up and we need to return immediately. But sadly, I have to run. This root node won't let me teleport over. Upon returning home and going back into the purgatory world, I learned how to double jump finally, now completing my Mario training. After that, I was immediately dropped into another purgatory world where I talked to overly detailed toes, and apparently, Lear is the person responsible for locking away the giant battery towers from the beginning of the game and making the Solarians world against science and preventing it from moving forward. But sadly, we can't really talk to him anymore, as the more time we spend in this purgatory world, the harder it is to return to the real world. So we had to leave him there before we could ask more questions. With the double jump unlocked, I'm able to unlock a few areas in the world that I couldn't before. I returned to the grotto, and now I can grab this rope right here that was previously too high up. There was some loot to the left, but the important part was our secret admirer, or stalker, was waiting for us right here. There was a ton of flirting, or what I think is flirting, from this stalker, and after a while, he looked into our future. He wouldn't say anything, but then said we should meet him at his royal hall here. Yi freaked out once the stalker said this, and it turns out he's the soul of this area and his name is G. Yi was shocked because G somehow regained his youth, and I can hear Kim Kardashian sprinting after that rat with a hat to figure it out. The upcoming areas are actually difficult, even in story mode, but I also have my damage received to 100%. So these dudes really hurt. Like, they'll kill me in 2 or 3 hits. And I also hate the slug that just stays underground. Very strong enemy. I made it ahead, however, and then I got to this ball part that I figured was a puzzle. I had to run ahead of the ball and open up these floor spots to let it all the way down here to then break a wall, and then I entered this room. This room sucks. I'm 99.9% positive it's just for some jade, and, well, you activate this statue right here. And then other statues spawn in, and you have to do the impossible charge up parry move. I tried it like 8 times, and, well, I gave up. There's no indication on when you should start charging it and when to let go. So, I'm good. I returned to the previous room and traveled left to get to the statue of Lear. And then our sister dream call happened again. It showed our past again, and apparently, our parents hated that we joined the Soul Council. There's an evil group that I think the red monkey dude was a part of that is going around killing everyone on their planet, and Yi wanted to use science to stop them, but the entire population is against science and wants to just let the bad guys kill them all. Very strange. So, Yi left home to attend to science stuff to stop the bad guys. Once we were free to move around again, I had my very own Indiana Jones moment and had to run away from this boulder and jump over enemies. I jumped to safety because I'm a professional wuss and rested at this root node. Now comes the Scooby-Doo running through Doors Park. I have no idea where we're trying to get to or what the goal of this place is. There's no indication, and man, does it get wild and confusing. Like this area right here that has zipline mechanics. Kind of fun, but then I had a dead end after a while, or just moving left and randomly choosing routes. So I looked on YouTube where to head to next, which didn't help me at all. There's barely anything on this game, sadly, but I did notice these 3 giant statue guys right here. And I know the one on the right lights up if I complete that one charged up parry room that I left a little bit ago. The issue, I have no clue where it is. Like, I completely lost it somehow. I looked for about 10 minutes and then accidentally found this mini boss that I killed with an arrow because I'm so quirky, and then took this elevator to some high security fancy smancy area that our servant warned us about. Maybe this is the right trek to G? And, well, Ruyi wasn't lying. I died to the guards here. Their parries are so rapid and the speed of which they move was insane. But I just couldn't get the timing down as they came to attack me so weird. So there goes about 3,000 Jin. Sick. I may or may not have turned down my damage received meter to like 25% to make it fair, and well, thank goodness I did. Up ahead was some parkour spots, and I'm loving the vibe and feel of the city. It's incredibly creepy and actually fun to explore when the Grey Guards aren't attacking me. Also, there's zombies here, or some unkillable pink things. And this is when things get really, really weird. I made it to this big room, and there's someone obviously sleeping in this chair, but I went into their computer thing and read about some rich family controlling an area or world, and shocker, they took advantage of a bad time to make money. And then I got a soul seal? You know, the thing you get after defeating a boss. But I didn't fight a boss. I was incredibly confused, but well, I'll take it, I guess. But yeah, I was correct. That massive body sitting in the chair to our right is gone. I continued to the left, managed to get to the spot where a zombie was camping a hacking machine. I managed to hack the machine, frame perfect, as the zombie swung on me. I was proud of this moment and wanted to share it with all of you. I made it all the way down to the ground floor and headed left to this infected-looking doorway. Inside, our dream sister called again, and something about her cutting her hand and it not healing. I'm assuming she isn't alive anymore, like I said in the past, and then another memory started. Our parents died to the disease that's killing all of the other Solarians and what some of the bosses had so far. Apparently, the entire planet is being infected. It's like the flood from Halo. We promised our sister that we'll save her and bring her to this new world we're creating, but it sounds like the sister is prepared to die. The memory ended, and we appeared in this gore-filled, mutilated area. To the left is an elevator section with enemies abusing us on every level. Once we reached the top and headed right, we got a call from Rui in Kuafu. Apparently, the meat piles and enemies everywhere is from the same disease that is killing off all Solarians, and all the meat everywhere is Solarians. We're literally fighting the flood from Halo now. There was a ton of parkour and fighting enemies up ahead. Just kept on running around and exploring the area, and even found some secret chest spots. I then finally found another root node, and with good reason. The room to the left is the boss room. Inside, it's like a scene from Berserk. The two spoiled brats who run this area are both souls, and we have one of their soul seals. We need the other one. The sister was about to give it to us until the big brother stepped in. He's been infected by that disease, and he's the reason for this area falling apart. I shot my arrows at him like all other bosses, and won! His mask broke, and yeah, he's basically a decayed body barely being held together. The sister lost her mind and was saying how he was healing from some medicine from a doctor. She was hugging him and crying, and, well, the brother exploded into spikes and killed his sister. Kind of poetic in a way. I went over to their computer and saw their past. They let their entire country, or world, or whatever section they were watching over, get infected, and then the brother got infected, and a doctor gave him some experimental medicine to heal him. It didn't work. I got their second soul seal after this, and, well, I don't agree with the name at all. It's called Selflessness. Not fitting unless it's the sister's soul seal and maybe she's selfless for trying to help the brother. But if she brought him along and infected everyone, that's very, very selfish. I headed left and found this hidden chest that had the serum that the brother was taking. Ryu called us and I told him about it. Apparently, we can use this to further our research for a possible cure, and I needed to return to our house. So, I did. We basically figured out that the infection that destroyed our world started from one of the Solarians. The next soul we're going to go fight. Apparently, she's insane and loves to create things like this and has studied it the most out of anyone. We also don't know how to kill the infected, but we have an idea. Something about the original cells. We need to find patient 0 for this thing. I wasn't sure where to go for that, or what to do really, but I do remember, given it's been a week since I played this game as I went on vacation, that we didn't finish that Indiana Jones dungeon area with the G-Soul we met. So I went back there to figure out that 3 statue spot where I have to do challenges to open them. I figured that's the next area we need to go to in this game. I started from the beginning of the entire area again because I remember I had trouble finding that insanely difficult blocking room. After a bit of exploring, I managed to find it, and yep, still insanely difficult. The timing had to be frame perfect. I didn't have any milliseconds to waste to get to the spots to block the statues. I had to leave at one point to find a root node, so in case I die, I won't respawn at the house. My second return to the room, it wasn't looking good. I used up every single healing item I had. I went all the way down to a one-shot. I had a pixel of health basically, and I somehow managed to win. I was making it more difficult by charging at my parrying on some statues when all you had to do was a normal parry or a jump parry. For completing the hardest challenge in the game, I got, drumroll please, nothing. Wow, amazing. That's one of the 3 statues completed for the big door room. I then searched around for any areas that I didn't complete before. Anything that was dark on the map. In the next spot, I just had to jump over these super muscular, buff, strong, possibly sweaty dudes, and get this giant, crushing, girthy, massive ball with veins to chase me. I did, in fact, not go tee-hee as it was chasing me, and had to kill the big, strong, burly, muscular men, and open up this wall. Inside, a criminally easy challenge. No, that's not sarcasm. I would have done it my first try, but apparently I got the timing of my parries wrong. Sad thing is, the last 2 arrows were the last 2 of this challenge. I would have done it first try. Anyways, once I beat it, the reward was also a big bowl of nothing. But 2 of the 3 guardians now done. Now, I just need to go find that final room. And well, I made it past the green bridge that turns into walls if you hit a button part. Apparently, I completed this a while ago, but never knew it. And well, things got really weird. I wasn't expecting a boss fight, but once I made it through this new section and then went through a doorway, I ended up with the soul named G. I thought he was going to be in the big door room once I completed all 3 challenge rooms, but I guess not. So, boss fight time? G just seems very peaceful. Apparently, he cannot age and he's immortal. The disease that's infecting and killing everyone has no effect on him. He's seen the future and knows he's going to beat us, and he wants some thrill in his endless life. So, we fought. Big shocker, it took me 2 arrows. The first one knocked him down a peg and began the real fight with his health. Then the second arrow followed him and took him out. Apparently, the really old dude lied. You knew he was going to die, and I suppose that made him happy. He wanted to die, but not by his own hands. So, he made us try even harder, and we won. Kind of a peaceful and sad ending. He seemed like he would have been of some use to us. I then found his computer, went through his memories, and well, he's an experiment. He was always worshipped as the god of time and age and whatever, but he was hooked up to a machine and either made him immortal and ageless, or the people around him tried to steal his powers and become the same thing. It didn't end well for them. We got his seal, and it stands for insight. Very fitting for him. We also got some of his hair and returned back home to give it to our AI servant. He did a comparison to the virus and found out it's a near 100% match. We figured out a way to kill those regenerating Halo Flood enemies. Turbo Tubby over here then made a gauntlet that can use the cure or some energy blast to then finish off the Halo Flood forms. We can finally kill them. Allegedly. I say that because when I went to test it out, well, they came back. So Turbo Tubby lied. I couldn't figure out how to equip whatever he made, or if he even made it, but I still haven't beaten that 3rd challenge room. I returned to the grotto area and found the last room. Kind of easy, but nice to get there so fast. Inside, an actual fun challenge. Like, no sarcasm at all. I actually enjoyed this one because there was clear indications on when attacks would happen and what to do. All I had to do was start charging my parry when the circle appears, and as it's about to disappear, I release it. Boom! Perfect every time. I completed the 3rd challenge room, ran back down to where the big door was, and mini boss fight. Wasn't expecting this, so I quickly got away from it and shot my arrow, beating this boss too. Inside was a holographic show about what happened with Detailed Toes and his followers. He wanted everyone to move away from technology and go back to being basic beings and live amongst the land. His followers were not happy, or wanting to follow him at all. To the right, either Detailed Toes' body or 3 of his followers. I don't know, but I did get 3 Tau fruits and then the Rizzler's bomb. Or a nuclear bomb. Apparently, it was the last weapon made during Detailed Toes' era. I then went to the root node and returned to the Purgatory world one final time. I talked to Detailed Toes, and it's sounding like he's warning me about beating all of the souls and cleaning up the world. Kind of a late warning, as I'm, well, 1 seal away from beating the game. Maybe he should have warned me earlier. We couldn't talk much as he was about to become a spirit and disappear from everywhere. Kind of a nice reward for doing all of those challenges. Would have been really nice if, you know, it was some stronger sword or something, but I got all situated back at home and then returned to the Halo Flood area. Apparently, to kill them, we have to use the exploding talisman. I have one where it'll stick for about 2 seconds and then explode by itself, and it worked. They can die. The only important ones to fully kill are the weird tentacle pea shooter looking ones that are connected to walls and stuff. They always block a doorway, so killing them will clear it up. By doing that and heading left in this place, I made it to the elevator. I didn't go down and headed left because I figured there'd be loot. There was! I got the elevator key to go into the research center, which holds the final boss, and then I found someone's ID where I can recycle it. Nice finds. I took the elevator down to the restricted level and Turbo Tubby called me. He warned me about the Dusk Guardians, which are basically the personal guards to the final boss. They used to work for me, but once they all turned on me and killed me 500 years ago, she took ownership of them, and they were her personal guards who also made sure this entire map was kept clean and functional. Of course, they probably did some shady stuff, but they disappeared. Just like Aang, the last airbender. They haven't been seen in a while, and Turbo Tubby doesn't feel too good about it. This place was very weirdly peaceful to me. I know it's supposed to be some alien-infecting, scary, never-dying virus, but it's kind of peaceful and relaxing in here. Is that weird? I had to destroy 3 of those spike shooters to release this elevator to craft crash below. Really easy stuff. While I was parrying, trying to get my charges up so I could kill things in here, I kind of found an infinite gold farm spot, and it isn't too bad. I think I was getting like 28 gold, or gen, every kill. I guess it only works if you're on story mode though. I went around and cleared out the building and explored everywhere. Nothing too special. I cleared out the 3 spike shooters and made the elevator fall. Going down, it's very clear this stuff wasn't here until recently. A lot of the machinery is getting caught up with the virus meat and can't function properly. I can only imagine how infected the boss will be. I got a warning how we were close to the final boss. Egon. We should suspect anything to happen as it's all unknown now. I hacked into a computer and apparently she began with good intentions, and she was also the one who saved us when we blew half of our body off while creating the butterfly fish with our sister. Apparently, we were a breakthrough case and might be the answer on how to survive the Halo Flood virus going around our world. But once I hacked into the next computer, you could see Egon becoming less good, if you want to call it that. Maybe more prideful and egotistical. She found out about G and his immortality and anti-aging abilities and did tests to take those and make a serum for everyone. She purposely kept this from us for some odd reason, and it was all going okay, but she seemed incredibly disappointed how we'd get the credit for saving everyone. Hacking into the third computer, well, this is literally Halo. The infected people were literal flood forms from Halo who started infecting the primordial roots that healed and saved us. No one with the serum became healed from the Halo Flood. 10% of the people with the serum turned into mutants. There's no way to stop this virus. Oh, and they all became a hive mind and would communicate and work together as one entity. Just like a grave mine from Halo. I'm loving this so much you have no idea. We then found the boss's room. She was watching us the entire time kill everyone and explore the entire world map. I connected into her computer and everything was blocked off. We couldn't see her memories or life story. Then, there she was, Egon. And, get this, it's a trap. Our teacher, who was the one that killed us at the beginning of the game, planned this from the start. She thinks she knows how to stop the Halo Flood and save everyone. She just needs the soul seals to do it. And wow, we just walked into her domain expansion and gave her all of them. Because of course, this wouldn't be a trap. She took control of our nervous system somehow and walked out with everything. We then started to have a fever dream and nightmare. We found out we left our sister on the planet with the Halo virus because we're a moody, angsty teen. And we didn't go back to save her like we said we would. We also told her she's dead to us and we won't remember her. Nice stuff, right? Then we had a fevered dream about the souls we beat, and it got all confusing for me. Really don't get what was going on, but the game is trying to paint us as the bad guy, because, you know, everyone we killed was totally good and sane and definitely would have saved the world. We totally didn't do the right thing by killing the bad guy so we can get the keys to save this ship and our race. No. Anyways, we somehow got out of the boss's computer with Xuan calling us. Apparently, Egon attacked our home with some metal monsters, and we have to rush back to save everyone. Is what I would be doing, but hello, we hacked another computer. Let's get to reading. It's not like we're out of time or anything. And the logs? Whoa, big shocker. Egon is insane. She couldn't figure out the cure, but then she snaps and thinks that the Halo Flood is a blessing and the next evolution stage of Solarians? She's going to infect us all. She set up new traps and locked doors, so we have to go new ways to get out, which are also trapped with flood forms. And the camera is moving at a set speed, so we can't move as fast as we want. We also have to kill everything, while also not seeing our health or any items for some odd reason. Took a while, but I made it through. Hacked into another computer, which I wanted to read, but I don't have the health to sacrifice while trying to parry to kill off the flood forms. Again, would have loved to have read those last 3 logs. I then made it to another trapped room. Had no more heals and low health, but I managed to survive through it all. I have absolutely no idea how you're supposed to go all the way from the boss's computer to this root node in one life when you're not in story mode. That's crazy absurd, man. Anyways, we can't teleport from this root node, sadly. We have to run all the way back. I took the elevator up and, well, I think the game creators forgot to leave one spot open on the right side so we can escape because, well, there's no exit. Every single spike shooter's on the right side of the wall and there's no way for me to interact with them. After like 14 minutes of trying to find a way out, I just looked on YouTube. And of course, why didn't I think of this? We have to go left. I got lost again and went to the wrong left, if that's possible, and found the spot with hidden chests and a recyclable item. Nice. Then found the correct left and entered a box to then be taken to a spot with an elevator. I made it back to the front door and entering our home, yeah, something might be wrong. I took a quick smoke break to heal because why not? It's not like I should be fast right now. Then explored a bit. I bought some more items just in case I die. I don't want to lose my gold, not alcohol. And sadly, the shopkeeper who saved us before, well, I don't think he's alive anymore. He was creepy and cool looking and had nice items, but yeah, he went bye-bye. And for some reason, I still need to give him money for the items when he's dead, and I could just very easily steal the items, or technically take as he's dead, and that wouldn't be stealing really. Then instead of doing whatever the game wanted me to do to get up here for this chest, I did every single move and jump ability to make it onto this ledge and open the chest for a jade. If I parry, I inflict damage back. Actually insanely nice, but I won't be needing it as I don't parry. I went to the right and, well, it's the worst outcome. Our computer AI servant was basically killed for me, Gong. He tried to stop her, but she destroyed his core. As he was talking, he was dying. Xuan and Turbo Tubby were the only survivors as they hid in our panic room. Then, Ruyi shut down for good. I actually like that AI, so it's sad to see him die. We then went and talked to Turbo Tubby, and once I kill Egong, we'll rewrite the space warp instructions and return home. Xuan will get to see where Solarians grow up and everything will apparently be okay. But of course, this is going to be the hardest boss to get to and fight. We need to get past the guards and kill her before she does her insane infecting plan. I headed left out of our front door, and this time, the root tree in the background has a bridge we can cross to get there. I was stunned. There were no guards or enemies of any kind. We just went up. Tried to hack into a computer but failed. Saw some logs about the council meetings, and apparently we were the ones to put every Solarian into their own Sword Art Online world so they would outlive the virus, and we would have a lot more time to try and find a cure. The council wasn't liking it at first, but they all grew to accept the idea. But that was a ton of reading, and I'm playing a game, not a book. Way too much text back to back to back. I need some action, so I left without reading the other 2 logs. I'm sorry. And then we rested at a root node and went up one last elevator. And there she is. Below this giant ball sack is Egong. She was talking about us meeting our next evolution step and we need to do this, and how prophets all walk alone at first and we'd all think you're in the future. Then she had to trash talk me and say she doesn't want to kill me a second time. But unlucky for her, and unlike the beginning of this game, I have a one-shot arrow, baby. I dodged around at first to see if she does anything cool. For someone who's thousands of years old, she sure does teleport around rapidly. Felt like I was Gojo fighting Toji after resurrecting myself, and I hit her with 2 hollow purples. I killed her. And this is where there's 2 endings. Apparently, I got the regular ending. Expected, as I was in story mode, but it's confusing. I think I'm in a computer VR experience, not actually back on our Solarian world, but we don't get any answers if we or the other Solarians survive the virus. We don't know what happens to our sister, even though there's a 99% chance that she's dead. I also don't get why we're going back to our planet when it's entirely infected. Kind of feels like returning to the world is throwing away all progress and lives we've saved. Anyways, there's a true ending, or secret ending, where Yi shoots the core because something bad is happening and we see our sister. The core blows up with us and we meet up with our sister in the afterlife. Xuan cries, and then no answers from there? Honestly, a bittersweet ending. Yi ending his life to stop the core from spreading the Halo Flood virus is a cool ending. It's selfless and really fits as he's making a promise to save everyone, and I suppose he does with that? But there's a lot of open endings that I'm not too happy with or on board with. I also desperately think this game needs some form of handholding. Like, where do you go? The game tells you maybe 2 times where to go, and it sucks. You get punished for exploring by either endless enemies and no saves, so you die and lose your gold because you can't make it back, or you get punished for exploring by no rewards and wasting your time. The hitboxes don't exist, and so many projectiles and sometimes melee hits land on you when they very clearly don't. You have no room for trying out different strategies or defense mechanics like you would in Elden Ring. You can't upgrade your defense or sword to become stronger. Overall, not a fan of that type of progression. I get which crowd this game is going for, and honestly, if story mode didn't exist and I couldn't turn my damage up, I would have given this game a 2 out of 10. But with story mode, I can give this game a 5 out of 10. There's just way too many problems and issues with this game, especially with parrying. When it's so massively important to this game and how to play it, I could go through and play identical to all tries I've done on a boss. Change nothing at all. Same timing on parries. and the results will change. Half the time, my parries would work, the other half, they don't. And there's no reason why they shouldn't work. I get it's a skill issue, but this is the only Souls-like game I've played where I've struggled this hard. The other ones I can manage after dozens of tries or a few hours of retries on a boss. The only reason why I completed this game was strictly for the video and so you guys could see this game in case you're interested in it. But yeah, not a fan of this game. A lot of tweaks and indications on where to go should be added, I think. But regardless of that, with story mode on, it was fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed the game. What would you like to see me play 100% of next? Subscribe for more 100% videos by me, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!